Welcome to Just Stories. We hope you enjoy our short story. The English Civil Wars, also known as the Wars of the Three Kingdoms, were a series of conflicts that took place in the kingdoms of England, Scotland, and Ireland from 1639 to 1651. The wars were fought between supporters of the king, Charles I, and those of the Parliament, led by Oliver Cromwell. The First War, which lasted from 1642 to 1646, was sparked by Charles I's attempts to assert his authority over the Parliament and the Scottish Covenanters. The king believed in the divine right of kings, which held that monarchs were appointed by God and were answerable only to him. However, many members of the Parliament, known as the Roundheads, believed in the principle of the sovereignty of the people and the need for a balance of power between the monarchy and the legislative branch. The war began in August 1642, when Charles I raised his standard at Nottingham, signaling the start of hostilities. The king's army, made up mostly of nobles and their retainers, was well equipped and well trained. However, the Parliament's army, known as the New Model Army, was made up of commoners and was better organized and led. The first major battle of the war was fought at Edgehill in October 1642. The battle was a draw, but it was a significant victory for the parliamentarians, as they were able to hold their ground against the king's superior forces. The war continued for several years, with both sides experiencing victories and defeats. The parliamentarians were able to capture several key cities, including London, Bristol, and Oxford. However, the king's army was able to hold out in several key strongholds, such as York and Newark. In 1645, the parliamentarians formed the New Model Army, which was a well-trained and well-equipped force made up of commoners. This new army was able to defeat the king's forces at the Battle of Naseby in June of that year, which was a decisive victory for the parliamentarians. After Naseby, the king's position became increasingly untenable. He was captured by the parliamentarians in 1646 and was put on trial for treason. He was found guilty and was executed in January 1649. With the king gone, the parliamentarians, now led by Oliver Cromwell, turned their attention to the Scottish Covenanters and the Irish Confederates, who had supported Charles I during the war. The Second War, which lasted from 1648 to 1651, was fought mainly in Scotland and Ireland and ended with the defeat of the Covenanters and the Confederates. The wars ultimately led to the overthrow of the monarchy and the establishment of a Commonwealth under the leadership of Oliver Cromwell. However, the Commonwealth was short-lived, as the monarchy was restored in 1660 with the coronation of Charles II. The English Civil Wars had a profound impact on English society and politics. They marked the end of the feudal system and the rise of a new, more egalitarian society. They also established the principle of the sovereignty of the people and the need for a balance of power between the monarchy and the legislative branch. Additionally, the wars had a significant impact on the development of military tactics and strategy, as well as the role of religion in politics. In conclusion, the English Civil Wars were a series of conflicts that took place in the kingdoms of England, Scotland, and Ireland from 1639 to 1651. The war was sparked by Charles I's attempts to assert his authority over the Parliament and the Scottish Covenanters. The war was fought between supporters of the king and those of the Parliament, led by Oliver Cromwell. Thank you for watching our short story. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, so you don't miss out on our next video drop.